Hey guys, so today I'm going to show you how to clean up your dashboard. So we've got a Escort Max 360 radar detector on the windshield. We also have a black view dash cam, and that's the dual channel, so there's one camera facing forward, the other one is facing to the rear. And we're going to get rid of these cables by connecting both of them to the rear view mirror. So we're going to do that using the Euro Performance mirror tap, and these specific taps are made specifically for Audi, and this will connect directly into your mirror. So Euro Performance has many variations of their adapters. For example, here's one that is just for the radar. They also have this one which can be used both for radars and dash cams, as long as they operate on 12 volts. So they also have a USB-C version, so these would be used with a dash cam mostly. And they also have a USB mini and USB micro versions for dash cams. And also you can get these in combo versions where you can connect both your dash cam and radar detector to the same tap at the same time. And optionally you can get it with the mute button. So your radar detector, mostly Escort, Uniden, and Valentine 1 come with your cigarette lighter adapter, and your cigarette lighter adapter has a mute button on it. So if we were going to connect this to the rear view mirror, you would lose that button. So if you want to keep your mute button, you can opt to get your adapter with this. And in order to install these, you have to make sure that your rear view mirror has electronics in it. So for example, this mirror has a compass and it has the auto dimming feature. So that means that the rear view mirror has power in it. So we will be able to tap into it. So if you're not sure if your mirror has electronics in it, you can also tell by this piece right here. So this connects the mirror to the car through the headliner, and all the cables are running through this piece right here. And cars that don't have electronics in the mirror will not have this piece at all. So today we're going to install the combo version, and so let's get started with the installation. To get one of these installed, we're going to need at least one of these tools. So either a pick or one of the plastic panel removal tools. You don't need both, you'll just need one of them. But I prefer to use the pick. I think it's much easier to remove the panels. But I'm going to show you how to use both. So in order to get these installed, we're going to have to remove these pieces right here first. So there is a piece right here on the bottom, and there's also another piece right here at the top. And we're going to remove this bottom piece first. Now on newer cars, you're going to have a really big piece right here in front of the mirror. So the mirror typically is a little bit further down, and then you have a really big piece here. So you're going to remove this first. That piece typically is just on clips, so you start from the top and you put your hand in there and then pull down on that piece, and then it should just come off. And then you're going to come back here and then remove those pieces. They're going to be very similar setup as here. Okay, so I'm going to start actually on the left side. So if you look at this bottom piece first, right up top here, you can see that there's a little bit of a cutout right here. So I'm going to use my pick to insert it into there at a slight angle, and I'm going to pull slightly like that. And we're going to do the same on the other side. There is a cutout over here as well. Now, once you have this piece released, you're just going to grab it and slide it down. So on the inside of this piece, there's a clip right here and a small one right here. And so that's what we're trying to release when we're taking this piece down. And then finally, we just remove this piece. That one is on clips, so it should come out easily if you just give it a little bit of a pull. Now I have a lot of stuff around here, so it's difficult to get this out. And here we go. So that piece just has two clips in the middle that's holding it up, and this right here is where that other piece clips into. So when they are put together, they look like this, and that's where both of them clip into each other. So if you don't have the pick, you can also use the plastic panel remover tool. And what you're going to do is, instead of pressing on this piece first, you're going to press right here so that you can push this piece in and release it from the other piece. Alright, so once we get the covers off, you can see the connector is sitting right here. And the connector is clipped into this metal piece, so you just wiggle it out like that. And now we're going to disconnect the plug from the mirror, just like that. So these connectors don't really have any kind of locking mechanism to keep them together. All they really have is this connector here, right here, has this metal tab that's on both sides of that plug, and that really is the only thing that keeps it together from disconnecting. So all you really need is to apply a little bit of force and you should be able to pull these apart. Now we're going to take our mirror tap and we're going to connect it to the mirror. So we're going to use this side. First, we're going to connect this end to this cable right here. So there we go. I've got it connected to our mirror tap. And now we're going to take the other end of the mirror tap and connect it to the plug from the mirror itself. And there we go. So now that we have our mirror tap connected, the issue with the older Audis is that there's not much room here to hide your connectors and your cables. So what we're going to do, we're actually going to take the cable and then push it through. So to accomplish this, I actually had to disconnect our tap first. And you're going to take this connector, you're going to twist it or turn it this way, so otherwise it will not go through. Now you'll be able to push it through down, and so now you can see it from the front side. I've pushed it right down here, and there it is. So I'm going to do the same with the mirror tap cable. Feed it through the hole here, right out here. And now I'm going to connect those two connectors. Okay, and there we go. This did take a little bit of wiggling to get these connected. The space in here is very tight, but we got it done. And then the other ones will live on top in the same spot that the previous ones were. Okay, so I got that connector clipped back into its spot where it was. Now we're going to take the other side of the cables and connect them to our dash cam, and the second one to our radar. Okay, so now we're done as far as the connections are concerned. So the only thing we need to do now is just clean it up and put it all back together. But before we do that, I'm gonna make sure that everything is working. So we're going to turn the power on. Make sure so we can see that the camera has powered on, and there's the radar. Okay, so now we can start putting this back together. So if you don't have a mute button, then you don't have to worry about it, but if you do, you can essentially place it wherever you want. On the back of it there is a double-sided tape, so that's in case you want to stick it somewhere. So I'm actually going to place it right above here, probably in the corner. So I'm going to put the button right up here, and then I would like to tuck the cable under the headliner, but around here it's very difficult to tuck anything in there. The headliner is very firmly against the windshield, so to kind of help us, we're going to remove this screw that's right here, right up here. And that's going to loosen this whole piece. It won't come off or fall down, but it will give us enough room to be able to pull this headliner down a little bit. So this looks like it is a T20 screw, so it's a Torx screw. So now that I've removed the screw, now this will flex a little bit, but as you can see, it still stays up here and it won't fall down. Okay, so there's that mute button. I stuck it right here in the corner onto the window. And then I tucked all the rest of the cable, because that cable is about 3 feet long. I tucked it all under the headliner, and then you can see it's coming out right here. And from here, you can even tell that that button is there. Okay, so now I'm just going to take the remaining cables that are running to the dashcam and the radar, and I'm going to also tuck them in under the headliner. So there we go. I routed both of these under the headliner, so I just tucked it in. You can just pull down on the headliner a little bit and just tuck in the wires under, and then I routed them both nicely over here. So this is where they're coming to the mirror. Any excess of the cable, if they were too long, I just put them all under the headliner. So now we're ready to put the pieces back on the mirror. We're going to start with this piece right here. That's going to go back on there first. Okay, so there we go. I've got the top piece back on. So now we just need to install the bottom piece. So the bottom piece has these ribs right here. There's a rib right here. And there is another one on the other side right here. So both of those ribs have to slide into these channels right here. So here we are, all put back together. I've got all the cables routed, hidden under the headliner, all my pieces put back together, and this is how it looks.